man who travels to a poor country to meet women and kind of
Like
take
my
advantage of the situation.
fucking
You follow me? Do you understand what happens to some of these men? From being drugged on dates in Colombia by women they met on dating apps to being kidnapped, held for ransom, and then thrown off a cliff. In 2024, 3 Americans were found dead within 4 days, all in
damn.
Medellin. One guy was found in a hotel room after he was seen entering the room with a woman who left hours later. Another guy just fell off the balcony of his Airbnb and he totally wasn't pushed probably. And another guy was renting a house for a month when the owners just mysteriously found his body inside. And the year before that, in 2023, there were 32 foreigners that met
Niggas be tricking just to die.
some suspicious end, all within the first 10 months of the year, including 8 Americans in just 2 months. Listen, bro, if you want a girlfriend to speak Spanish, you can do this much safer in like New York, Texas, California, literally anywhere in the United States. There's
They can go to Miami.
no need to travel to a country where people get dismembered just because you want to go on a date. Now, I got this idea when I saw these 2 pretty obscure kick streamers, and these idiots, first off, thank God they're still alive, but these guys paid 2 girls $68 in total to spend a night with them when they live streamed. They bought some alcohol and watched the girls pretend to drink it while they got drunk, and surprise, surprise, they got drugged and robbed. Who could have seen this coming? I mean, I'm sure they were blindsided by the Colombian prostitutes.
I swear to God, I'll never trust a bitch that try to put a drink in my mouth. Only if, like, you have to be in a relationship. But a new bitch, you're stupid.
They paid $68, did something shady. These guys are actually some of the only
This bitch giving him the side eye death. I think this bitch wanted him killed. He was just too strong.
who wants to make it out alive though. Because that 32 tourists in 2023 turned to 39 tourists that died in 2024, and half of them were from the US. In 2024, a British news agency called Channel 4 interviewed a woman who wasn't named, but for all intents and purposes, we'll just call her Maria. Now, Maria says that she's been working with a local gang in Medellin since she was a kid, and that she's used a drug called scolopamine, also known as devil's breath, to sedate and rob tourists. And what this powder does is knock someone out very quickly and is normally slipped into someone's drink, which is most likely what happened to those two streamers. Now, Maria seems to be kind of messed up in the head as she goes on to say that some of her victims may have even died after she put them to sleep. Like, she doesn't even know for sure. And it was reported that 80 tourists were killed in the past 3 years, but Maria claims the number is higher. But let's talk about Huey Gerzon. Now, he was living as a comedian in Minnesota when he started making frequent trips to Colombia. And from these trips, he would post pictures of himself and a woman with red hair who he referred to as his girl, along with at least 2 other women. Now, the New York Post refers to all these women as his girlfriends, and he even picked up a bit of Spanish, according to his sister. And workers at the Korean restaurant this picture was taken from state that he and this woman had been there
It'd be bad, but I don't think I'll trust a female with a neck tap, you know?
before, and this picture was taken about 2 months before his death. Now, in December 2023, he told his friends that he would be heading back to Medellin to meet with the woman he had been talking to online. And I assume either his friends didn't mention that this was a bad idea, or they did, but he was just too far gone to believe them. Now, on December 3rd, everything seemed to be going well as he filmed himself at a Karol G concert. His friends had lost contact with him until he called one of them and said that he had been kidnapped and his captors were asking for $2,000 as ransom.
Damn.
Now, for some reason in Colombia, it was initially reported that the money had not been paid. And after asking for the money, they apparently took him to his apartment in Robledo, a neighborhood in Medellin, where he was beaten and robbed before they took him to a secluded area and threw him off a cliff. Now, his family did, in fact, send the captors over $3,000, which was more than what they were asking for. And this is why you got to make sure you always check multiple sources. And this transaction is what helped lead authorities to the woman, Shari Gisela Meida, who I believe is the same woman from the pictures, although she lost the red hair, and she was arrested along with 2 men and 1 teenage boy, who were all arrested and charged. And the woman actually ended up confessing and giving authorities details on what happened. And I don't know if y'all ever heard the story of Jay.
Damn, she snitched on y'all niggas. Just for 3 bands, bro. She could have tricked that nigga for 3 bands. I feel like bitches need to start tricking instead of just killing. Like, what's the reason to kill? Just get your 3 bands over tricking. What? Dumb niggas will go.
Rello, but he went a little viral around 2022 because he flew from the US to the Dominican Republic on something like a $700 budget, I believe. And when his flight was rescheduled, he was required to pay a $100 rescheduling fee, which he didn't have, so he ended up asking for donations on his live stream.
It's $100
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'll never go to the DR and try to find a wife. Nigga, you gonna get killed?
schedule fee. basically, I need a cash app, guys.
My brother, first of all, you can't even travel to most cities in the US for a week-long trip on less than $700. And the currency exchange in another country means nothing if you're spending all your money every day. The man said he paid $50 to get into a party. He was taking care of a girl out there he was staying with, and he was also going out to eat 3 times a day. And by the end of it, he didn't even have $100. He's been back multiple times, I believe, since being stranded. And hey man, this might not be worth it. Now, he didn't necessarily get set up, but he did say on the last day of one of his trips, a girl he was taking care of asked him for 3,000 pesos, also known as 50 US dollars, but he told her he didn't have any money left, so she called security on him. Hey, first off, shout out to my Discord, go join that if you haven't already, but I'm gonna tell y'all like I told them, you will live much longer and happier with one woman. And I know some of y'all will say, no, bro, you tripping. I ain't letting no female tie me down. Alright, bro. So just take half your check and set it aside every 2 weeks for some random females then. At least when I spend money on my wife, it's all going to the same place. And I ain't gotta wonder what she doing when I'm not around because we always together. Ain't no way I'm going to Colombia.
Nah, fuck that. Nigga saying, oh, that nigga, you go home. You ain't gotta worry about getting drugged. You ain't gotta worry about 3 other niggas in a black SUV, got 3 Nike Techs on, 2 switches, 1 regular pistol. Sometimes these niggas got semi-autos. Crazy.
Or anywhere else and sharing some female with the whole community. I just don't like that. How many miles be on these women that y'all flying out the country to hang with, bro? And then on top of that, you will still die even if you pay them all your money. At least I know there's a good chance my wife won't kill me unless I keep forgetting to do stuff she asked me to do. She might actually kill me for that, but at least I'll see it coming, right? Everyone's not the same, but I guarantee there's a large portion of women in these foreign countries that prey on American men coming in without any intuition at all. And this is any foreign country. And then when you come in spending the average monthly salary of some of these girls' fathers in one night, if she knows some gang members, you better believe you gonna get got. This is called traveling with ill intentions. And like anything you do with ill intentions, it's a good chance it won't end well for you. It's bad enough we got guys going out to the club spending $300 trying to impress people. But when you doing this out the country,
I never spent $300 in a fucking club. What the fuck are you doing? $100? Alright, cool. 300? Fuck you doing?
it's a good portion of Americans that don't even know how to move around the major cities.
Nigga, go on a RSL tour.
Let alone moving around a foreign country safely. I don't even know how good the justice system is in Colombia because I did a video about Colombia a little while back, and one time somebody just faked some paperwork and sent it to the jail, and they believed it and ended up letting a cartel leader's sister out of prison. And I don't know how many times stuff like this happens. As Americans, we might be a little too pampered. Even Canadians too, because some of the people included in all of these fatalities are Canadian as well. If you need an excuse to travel around the world, there's plenty you can think of other than just being thirsty, bro. Won't you go see the pyramids or something? Or go to Greece to, I don't know, look at the ocean? Do anything but this. Because when you die over there, you don't even know if there's a guarantee that your body is going to get flown back to the United States anyway. You can just go missing out there and not be found. All for what, man? I don't get it. Maybe that's because I was blessed to find someone. But hey, you can't
he
too,
blessed.
bro. Just don't do this, man. I made this video as a warning, so I don't know. Heed the warning. Alright? Alright. Thanks for watching.
Now, I know some niggas still going out there trying to get some pussy. But yeah.